Lakes. Calm, peaceful, and harmless, right? Wrong. Some lakes are more sinister than the deadliest oceans. Imagine standing at the edge of a lake, feeling the cool breeze, and suddenly, the water starts bubbling like a boiling cauldron, swallowing everything in sight. These lakes hold secrets so terrifying that scientists are still baffled. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see lakes forever. Number 10. Lake Michigan, USA. The freshwater death trap. At first glance, Lake Michigan looks like a dreamy vacation spot. But what if I told you that this lake is more dangerous than some of the roughest seas? It's home to hundreds of unexplained drownings every year. And here's where it gets even creepier. Many victims were expert swimmers. But the real mystery? Ships, planes, and people have vanished without a trace. Just like the Bermuda Triangle, Lake Michigan has a zone where compasses spin wildly and navigation equipment malfunctions. In 1950, Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 2501 mysteriously disappeared over the lake with 58 people on board. No bodies, no wreckage, nothing. To this day, no one knows what happened. And let's not forget the killer rip currents that form out of nowhere, dragging even the strongest swimmers into the depths. One second you're swimming, the next, you're gone. Is it nature? Or something more sinister lurking beneath? Number 9. Lake Natron, Tanzania. The lake that turns life to stone. Imagine a lake so deadly it turns animals into statues. Welcome to Lake Natron, a body of water that looks like a gateway to hell. The lake is filled with highly alkaline water that burns anything it touches. The moment birds or bats mistakenly land on it, they're instantly preserved, like eerie, real-life sculptures. But here's the most terrifying part. In 2013, photographer Nick Brandt captured haunting images of perfectly preserved animals turned to stone. Their eyes, feathers, and even expressions were frozen in time. Scientists say it's due to the lake's insanely high pH levels, as strong as ammonia. But the real question is, why do animals keep flying into it? It's as if something is luring them to their doom. And if you think you'd be safe just standing near it, think again. The heat in the area can reach 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius, and the air is so toxic that just breathing it for too long can burn your lungs. Imagine stepping too close, feeling your skin tingle, and suddenly you can't breathe. Would you dare visit this lake? Number 8. Lake Kivu, Africa. The ticking time. Bomb beneath the surface. This lake might look calm, but it's sitting on a catastrophe waiting to happen. Beneath its surface lies something so terrifying, it could wipe out millions in an instant. Lake Kivu is one of the 3 exploding lakes in the world. Its waters trap a deadly mix of carbon dioxide and methane, and the moment that gas is released, a disaster of biblical proportions. We've seen this horror before. In 1986, Lake Nyos, a similar lake, exploded in Cameroon, releasing a cloud of gas that suffocated 1,746 people instantly. Imagine walking by the shore, taking a deep breath, and suddenly collapsing, unable to move. That's exactly what could happen at Lake Kivu, but on a much larger scale. Over 2 million people live around this lake, unaware that at any moment, an eruption could suffocate them all. And the most horrifying part? Scientists can't predict when it will happen. Number 7. Lake Karachay, Russia. The most radioactive place on Earth. You've heard of lakes that drown people, lakes that turn animals to stone. But what if I told you there's a lake so toxic that just standing near it can kill you? Welcome to Lake Karachay, the deadliest lake in the world. This lake is so radioactive that spending just 1 hour near it will give you a lethal dose of radiation. Even Chernobyl isn't this bad. For decades, this lake was used as a dumping ground for nuclear waste. The radiation levels here are so extreme that birds flying over it drop dead mid-air. And during a drought in the 1960s, strong winds blew radioactive dust from the lake across nearby towns, killing thousands. And here's something even scarier. This lake is still there today. The Russian government has tried covering it with concrete, but the radiation is still spreading underground. Would you dare step anywhere near it? Number 6. Boiling Lake, Dominica, the cauldron of death. Ever heard of a lake that boils people alive? That's not a myth. It's real. Located in the Caribbean island of Dominica, this lake isn't just hot. It's literally boiling. The temperature is so extreme that scientists haven't even been able to measure its deepest points. And the worst part? It's unpredictable. In 1900, two explorers were standing near the shore when a sudden burst of heat shot out, instantly cooking fish and nearly boiling them alive. People have seen birds flying too low, getting engulfed in steam, and vanishing instantly. But here's the most terrifying part. The lake is unstable. Sometimes it drains completely, then suddenly fills up again, erupting with scalding water. If you were standing near the shore when that happened, you wouldn't even have time to run. If everything you've watched so far has taught you something new, then you must subscribe. Because what's coming next is even more valuable. Don't miss out. Number 5. Lake Manoon, Cameroon. The silent killer. Imagine sitting by a peaceful lake at night. Calm water, no waves, no wind. And then suddenly, an invisible force wipes out everything in its path. That's exactly what happened at Lake Manoon. In 1984, something unthinkable occurred. 37 people mysteriously dropped dead near the shore. No wounds, no struggle, just lifeless bodies scattered around the lake. When scientists investigated, they uncovered the horrifying truth. Lake Manoon had released a cloud of deadly carbon dioxide gas, suffocating everyone instantly. No warning, no escape. People riding motorcycles near the lake fell over and died where they stood. It was like something straight out of a horror movie. Even scarier. This could happen again at any time. The gas is still trapped under the lake, waiting for the next deadly release. And if you think this was bad, wait until you hear what happened at our next lake. Number 4. Lake Nyos, Cameroon. The lake that killed an entire village. If Lake Manoon's disaster was terrifying, Lake Nyos is an absolute nightmare. In 1986, without any warning, Lake Nyos exploded, sending a massive cloud of CO2 gas into the air. The gas spread like a silent tsunami, rolling over villages, suffocating 1,746 people and 3,500 animals in minutes. People were found in their beds, frozen in place, just gone. Entire families died in their sleep, never knowing what hit them. Survivors described an invisible force stealing the air from their lungs, paralyzing them before they collapsed. What makes this even more horrifying? It could happen again. Scientists are trying to release the trapped gas slowly, but one wrong move, and Lake Nyos could wipe out thousands more. Now, if you thought this was the worst lake in the world, think again. The next ones will shake you to your core. Number 3. Blue Hole, Dahab, Egypt. The diver's graveyard. This lake might look like paradise, with its deep blue water and coral reefs. But make no mistake, it's one of the most dangerous places on Earth. Nicknamed the diver's graveyard, the Blue Hole has claimed over 200 lives, and that's just the official count. Some say the real number is much higher. Experienced divers enter, thinking they can handle it, and never come back. But what makes it so deadly? It has an underwater tunnel, an optical illusion that tricks divers into swimming the wrong way. Instead of going up, they go deeper, running out of oxygen before they realize their mistake. And the scariest part? There's no way back. Some divers have left behind their final moments on GoPro footage, seeing the exit, swimming towards it, but never making it. Their bodies remain at the bottom, a chilling reminder of the lake's deadly pull. Number 2. Frying Pan Lake, New Zealand. Earth's largest boiling lake. You've heard of the boiling lake before, but Frying Pan Lake is even worse. This isn't just a hot lake. It's the largest actively boiling lake on Earth. The water here never drops below 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius, and in some areas, it reaches a scalding 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 93 degrees Celsius. That means if you accidentally fall in, you'd be cooked alive within seconds. But that's not the worst part. The lake is constantly releasing poisonous gases, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and methane. Even standing near it can make you dizzy, disoriented, and weak. Visitors have reported hearing deep rumbling sounds beneath their feet, like the earth itself is alive and angry. The land around it is unstable, and experts say a massive eruption could turn the entire lake into an explosive inferno. Imagine being nearby when that happens. Would you risk getting close? Number 1. Lake Baikal, Russia. The deepest, oldest, and most mysterious lake on Earth. And now, we've reached the most terrifying lake of all. Lake Baikal isn't just the deepest lake in the world, it's also the strangest. At over 5,300 feet, 1,600 meters deep, Lake Baikal holds more water than all the Great Lakes combined. But it's not just the size that makes it terrifying. It's what's hiding inside. Divers exploring the lake have reported seeing massive, glowing orbs underwater, strange lights moving against the currents. In 1982, Soviet military divers encountered mysterious, humanoid creatures wearing silver suits. When they tried to capture one, an unseen force threw them to the surface, killing 3 of them instantly. And that's not all. And there you have it. 10 lakes that are more terrifying than the deadliest oceans. Which one shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.